So welcome back to the show. We're here with our good friend, Doug Peterson from Get Priorities Straight to learn about personal finance mastery. Mastery, that is defined by Merriam-Webster as having intense, I'm making this up because I thought I'd pull up Merriam-Webster, but mastery is about 10,000 hours, right? That's what it takes. According to studies, a book called Outliers, Malcolm Gladwell, go read it. I like it. It's a good book. But really personal finance mastery and how it can take you to a better understanding of leveraging money. Now, over the past year, Doug has helped people align their goals and visions, both personally and professionally. And he founded Get Priorities Straight in 2018 to help provide a program for individuals to maximize their personal income and improve their ability to invest. Having founded and run 8 businesses in his career, Doug has perfected a system that works regardless of industry, marital status, or income. He's currently working with Amazon managers, wealth managers, real estate professionals, attorneys, technology professionals, and dog walkers. I just made that one up. Yeah. Do you have any dog walkers on the client list?
No
Okay.
dog walkers.
No dog walkers. But if you are a dog walker and you're earning money doing it, Doug can help you. Thanks for joining us today, Doug.
Thanks. Great to be here.
All right. So just a recap for somebody first watching this show, what does GPS do?
So Get Priorities Straight is really focused on helping people get financial integrity, getting their money doing what they want it to do for them. It's helping them become proactive instead of reactive, deciding where they want their money to go before they spend it. Also, we help create very creative spending and savings plans. And the net result is financial peace of mind.
So what is financial mastery? I tried defining it by Merriam-Webster, but what do you say it is?
It's funny, a lot of people struggle and have stress around managing their personal finances. And it's a game. And when you know the rules of the game, you can win every time because it's a simple numbers game. I mean, to not be oversimplified, if you think about a business or personal, you need more money coming in than going out. Then you're winning.
Simple, not easy.
Simple, not easy. But also we have infrequent expenses. We have subscriptions. We have stuff we don't remember we bought that we're getting charged for. It's now become very complex.
So why is financial mastery so important?
Well, I go back to a lot of what I thought about when I started this company, which is if I could get a husband and wife on the same page about finances, it'd be amazing. And imagine that, well, first of all, the biggest cause of divorce, there's 2, infidelity and money.
Yeah.
And I think money is right up on top of the list as far as stress.
Yeah.
And so imagine eliminating that stress. But the other thing is that when we don't pay attention, we spend, if you only work 173 hours, and in America, we often work more than that. How much time do you actually spend managing all that money you've spent all that life energy getting? We usually spend 1 or 2 hours and just try to pay our bills and move on instead of really knowing where we want to go and where we want to spend our money.
So why do you believe people don't focus more? Why are they wasting time and energy on their finances?
It's kind of a black hole. You could sit down and do a whole bunch of work, kind of figure out where you are today. And then in 3 weeks or a month or 2 months, you don't know again. You just did the best you could with what you had. And so it feels like a lot of work, doesn't feel like a lot of return. But if you'll spend the time to really get on top of it and implement a system, it takes the same or less time to know more, eliminate waste, and just get more from your money.
Now, what I'm hearing you say, I mean, it all sounds really good, and I'm going to throw you a little bit of a curveball in as much as, can you tell me a story about somebody that maybe procrastinated taking that first step, and what did it look like when they did, and what did they say about it? I know that's a curveball because that wasn't, something we talked about before, but I just think telling stories is a good way to kind of communicate this. Somebody that maybe, was you'd met with a few times, and then they finally took that first step. What was their experience?
Well, I'll tell you, there's a technology professional I'm working with that wanted to start initially in March and decided to put it off. And has been living off of stock options, and the stock options have been cashed in before they've turned into long-term capital gains. So that's an additional 15%, but wasn't aware of what they were spending.
Hmm.
And it turns out they were overspending their income double. They were spending $21,000 and making about 10 net. And the rest was stock options. So then they take the $80,000 stock options and they lose just in taxes alone $12,000.
Wow.
They're also paying $12,000 in interest because they built up debt. So it's and compound interest can really work for you and it can really work against you.
Absolutely. So taking that first step, um, if you're then looking at, okay, I took that first step, we're going to make that change. How did that impact their life?
Well, they immediately realized that a lot of money was going out that was a waste. Now, when you don't know what you're doing, when you don't know how much money you're spending on a particular area, you don't have any frame of reference. And once they saw exactly what they were spending, it was easy for them to go, I don't want to spend that much.
Right.
That was just a waste.
So just getting that first step was really the awareness step, like understanding. To me, it sounds like they make a tremendous amount of money, but like you said, like whether you're, a tech person, an executive, or, that dog walker, bottom line with income is you have to make more than you spend.
Make more than what you spend. And the first step, as you mentioned, is awareness. And the second step is practice. The third step is that awkward success and failure time, which is where everybody quits.
Yeah.
And if you don't have somebody to help you realize this is just part of the process, you just have to get through it, and you will get through it, and it won't take very long, but you haven't done this before.
Right.
So it's not super comfortable. And who wakes up in the morning wanting to look at things that they haven't looked at for a long time that they know they need to do a lot better at?
Right.
Not too many people.
So how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So sometimes you just got to get that awareness. All right. So what is a long-term goal that you suggest those that are just getting started in understanding their finances? So it's kind of a two-parter. Long-term goal for somebody that's just getting started.
Well, there's a short and long term. The very first short term goal is having a cash emergency fund.
Mm-hmm.
It is harder to let go of cash than credit. And statistics show we spend 23% more on credit than we do in cash. And if you've saved an emergency fund, and I just start with a couple, the bare minimum of 1,000 if you don't have any, and get it to at least 5,000, and know that as soon as you spend that money, and a vacation, by the way, isn't an emergency. Going out to dinner.
Shoot.
I know. As soon as you spend that money, you have to fund it. You have to take it out of your check and say, we've got to put that back so we have it if there is an emergency fund.
Mm-hmm.
And those can take people anywhere from a month to a year to put together. Just depends on what you make and what you spend.
Okay. So the first part is an emergency fund. What's the long-term goal?
The long-term goal, whether you want to invest or whatever you want to do, is get 6 months worth of income saved. And I'm not talking about 6 months of what you spend every month. 6 months worth of income that'll keep the lights on. It's not going on nice vacations. If you're making good money, you might be going on vacations, you might be buying stock. It's enough money to live so that if somebody pulled the plug, if you had an accident, and I'm not a negative guy, I'm an optimist, but you need runway. You need runway to be able to take advantage of stuff. And if you all of a sudden said, hey, you can go on a cruise for a month for nothing, wouldn't it be nice to be able to go and know that you have enough money to pay the bills?
Yeah, I think that is a tremendously great message for young individuals that are just getting started working right now. Is as you go through life, and I know I can attest to this, as I'm sure Doug can as well, is you make mistakes financially, right? You don't put yourself with these priorities, and so when stuff comes up, it's that much more urgent in life. So if you were to say right off the bat, you get out of the gate, you start earning money, and you create that $1,000 emergency fund, and then you create another money market, and you create and you can get with Doug and he can arrange how you do this. But if you can imagine that by the time you're 29, if you had the habits of having a 6 month expenses set aside in savings, that's a lot of cushion for a lot of hardship that will happen because stuff happens in life. So, there is never a bad time to talk to Doug about getting started. So how do people get started, Doug?
Well, I do a free consultation just to talk about what your goals and challenges are. And so the best way is just contact me at doug@getprioritystraight.com, and I'd be happy to sit down and have a consultation, or you can go to my website, getprioritystraight.com.
Great. Well, hey, we're almost at the end, but is there anything else that you had for us today?
No, I would just say that the thing that most of us don't realize is that on our worst day, we're living better than kings and queens ever dreamed of living. So instead of
Yeah.
focusing on what you don't have and what you want, begin to think about just how lucky you are and how blessed we are to live around here. And that's it.
And enjoy life. Yeah.
Enjoy it.
Doug, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks very much.
All right.